These are organic shapes. Organic shapes can be found in nature or free-form shapes. They're shapes that necessarily don't have a name. As you look at some of these organic shapes, you might recognize some, and other shapes might be foreign. Now let's get started on making our own organic shaped monster. I like to fold my paper into fourths so that I know that my ribbon or my yarn is going to be large enough to fill up most of the page. When I've placed my yarn in a spot that I like, try to make it a little bit larger than your yarn. If you don't like it, you can always use the drawing guide or handout to help you begin. I'm using the drawing guide handout as I begin drawing out my arms as well as some of my monster legs. Again, this is just an idea sheet. Feel free to come up and make up your own ideas for arms and legs for your organic shaped monster. Now that you've got an organic shaped monster, I'm going to go ahead and grab some oil pastels that I want to use to make on some really cool patterns. Remember, patterns in this part of the project are just going to be used to draw out, not to color in. When you start drawing on your patterns, it's okay to change colors or try new patterns for different body parts. So as you can see, my body might be in green, but my arms have more of a curved line pattern on it. The feet on my monster are polka dots. I just had fun adding in some different colors as well as different shaped patterns onto my organic shaped monster. Once you're done, please outline with black. Now let's go ahead and get some watercolor paints to start making our monster's body have some more color. The cool thing about watercolors and oil pastel is that idea of making a resist. Trying to make the paints fill up the extra white space, but yet the oil pastel patterns shine through. So I felt like I wanted to try some colors on top of my oil pastels to make the design show up. Now, using some scrap white paper, let's go ahead and make the rest of the monster's body, whether it's 2, 1, or 3 shaped eyes. Maybe making some teeth for your organic shaped monster. Now I'm going to grab some scissors and cut out my organic shaped monster. I like to leave a little bit of white space going around my monster just so that it stands out next to the black paper that I'm going to glue it down to. So I'm gently and carefully cutting around my monster's body so that I can add on some of the rest of the facial decor. When you make your monster's facial decor, feel free to add any other designs that you want. Maybe some eyes, maybe some hair, and what about a mouth? So as I glue my body parts together, I looked at my monster and I like what I've got so far, but I felt like he might need a little bit more, whether it's a hat or maybe some hair onto my body. So I'm going to go ahead and take my paper, and I drew that line. I felt like you couldn't see it very good, and since my whole body was outlined in black, I'm going to do the same thing for my monster's hair and add a little bit more design and color to it. Oil pastels are really fun to make patterns, not just for my monster's body, but also for my monster's hair. Now that I've got some really cool patterns and fun designs for my monster, I'm going to grab my scissors, and just like the body, it's always better to make your hair or hat or body piece a little bit larger than what you think. You can always cut it down and make it smaller, but if it's too small, you really can't add more paper very easily. With my hair, I'm just going to tuck that underneath the body and start gluing that together. Now that I've got my glue added to my hair, I'm going to stick that down for my monster's body. I really like the way this turned out. What a cool, organic shaped monster. For another example, instead of zigzag hair, I thought it might be kind of cool to try on some wavy hair or some curly hair. So I wanted to show that to you as well. I'm just going to go ahead and use the monster to make sure that I had the right size. I drew the line, cut it out, and then I'm ready to start putting it all together. When you're using this glue bottle, remember, a dot dot is a lot. You don't need a bunch of glue. It should never puddle up. So I'm just putting a few dots of glue onto my project and assembling it together. How about some patterns for the top of that hair? Great, now I like it a lot better. I hope you had fun making your own organic shaped monster. I know I sure did.